private feed, so I need to just go and slap it into submission there. Ooh, am I allowed to say that live? Slap it into submission. Corporal punishment is not allowed anymore, right?
It's still in some countries.
Oh, which countries would those be?
Yeah, my internet, my bandwidth is dire.
Yeah, it's you like
there's no rhyme or reason. I don't understand. Jeez, shitty first world countries.
Oh, that's the thing, is that I can't understand how and why, like in a country like UK, you would battle with internet.
Maybe it's because there's too much demand. But I don't understand. During a working week, I would expect everybody working.
Yeah.
Huge. But
I mean, you're not using
5 to 9 on a Saturday morning.
Yeah.
I mean, half the country's in bed still.
Yeah. Anyway, it's still 2 minutes to go. I was like gonna pull the trigger, but didn't. Okay, I'm just gonna do this.
Squeaky door to go with non-squeaky.
You gotta keep it for the show, Oleg.
Hey guys, I'm back.
Yeah,
I'm back in action.
Back in action, but keep it for the show.
Back in action.
Keep it for the show, right? Okay, we are streaming live on Instagram, on my personal accounts, on my podcast accounts. We're live on YouTube, and we're live on Facebook. So why don't we
Awesome.
get into it?
Awesome.
Well, guys, guess what? It's episode 15
Hi everyone.
of the Weekend Craic.
Morning, all.
He come say hello.
Come
I think my
on.
wife is wearing a onesie.
Actually wearing a onesie.
Yeah.
What kind of onesie?
Perfect.
Is it just a normal onesie? or
Dressing
is it
up for the occasion. I like it.
Yeah. And it's a cool onesie. It's a really cool onesie.
So talking about being dressed for the occasion, I see, Lester, you are dressed for which occasion?
Summer.
Summer. It looks like summer there in the UK, dude.
Yeah, I got long sleeve t-shirt on. Obviously,
Oh.
there's
Beanie.
Yeah, nice beanie,
my
dude.
Smurf hat on. Papa Smurf.
Oh, great.
Yeah. It's I haven't seen the sun for a while. It's summer, obviously here, and it's 16 degrees and rainy,
Oh.
overcast, proper weather.
So you mean it's
Wow.
warmer in Johannesburg than it is in the UK? Middle of
I'm
summer.
just gonna
middle of
highlight
winter.
it's winter here.
Well, I'm just going to check what the temperature is supposed to be today in Johannesburg.
I think during the day it's gonna be like 18.
Yeah, it's currently 13, but having a high of, I'm sure it was supposed to be 19 today. It's 15 at the moment. It's going to go up to 19.
God.
Awesome.
So
Almost
do you wanna
swimming
know mine?
weather.
So the minimum is what I'm on now, 16, and the maximum is 19.
No, 19. Well done.
Same temperatures.
Wow.
And you're in winter and I'm in
Wow.
summer.
Yeah,
Wow.
exactly. Yeah.
Where did my life go so wrong?
Well, we could dive
yeah.
into that, but we won't do that right now. So how
We've
was the
got time
week?
for
Eh?
that.
So just an interesting thing, like I just noticed Lester is wearing a beanie, right? So when I was in Toronto, I saw one of my colleagues wearing a beanie. So I said, "Hey, dude, no, nice beanie." He's like, looks at you like, What is that?
What do you
Beanie.
mean?
Yeah.
I think beanie is a South African thing.
Oh, is
Maybe.
So what would they call it in Toronto?
Let me check. He mentioned something. I forgot.
Okay. Yeah, what would they call it? I mean, I thought it was a beanie. All around the world. So Lester,
No.
Lester, as you put food in your mouth, how was your week?
A solid 6.
Started at 6. Where did it end?
Solid
Solid 6. Oh, okay.
Yeah. But if you wind back a few episodes here,
Yes.
I think I've been 6 every week.
Well,
Mr. Consistent.
I think you peaked at a 6.5. Or should we keep it to whole numbers? There's no such thing as a 6.5. It's either 6 or you're 7. Does that make it more
If our
difficult
range
to
is
get to
to
a 7?
10,
Yeah, I know.
actually, is our range to 10? I thought it was to 100.
Yeah. So and
Yeah, if you've got such a wide spectrum, then you can't have half points. That's not allowed.
okay, yeah, okay. So new rule. Thumbs on the table. New rule. No half points, eh? No half points.
Okay, no, that's cool.
Yeah.
So did you find out what a beanie is called in Toronto?
Yeah, it's called a tuk.
A tuk.
Yeah.
How do you spell that? T-U-C or T-U-C-K?
No, it's actually it's TOQUE.
Oh my God.
Ah,
I just
yeah.
stick to beanie. Much better. So, Oleg.
As soon as there's Q's involved, that suggests it's coming from the French side of the country, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, well, that's actually a good point, eh? Actually, I'm surprised that it's called that.
You never knew?
I never knew. Did you know?
No, I didn't.
No,
but like,
exactly.
I figured it out pretty quickly because everyone's wearing beanies there, like because I came in winter, you know. And I was like, "Hey, dude, nice beanie." You know, he's like, "What? What is that?" So, we wanna know how your week went?
Mine.
Yeah, the Bearded Fan. How was the Bearded Fan's week?
It was a solid 4.
Solid 4.
Solid 4, to be honest. Yeah. But it's all work related. Just life is just very, very busy at the moment. I don't know. I need to have a sit down tomorrow, and when I do my planning for the week, I need to work out how I'm going to make sure that I don't fall into the same trap I did this last week. But anyway, we won't dwell on that. Tomorrow's a new week, so
Yeah.
I can start afresh again. So that's cool. And yourself, Oleg?
That's awesome.
What's happening on your side?
I think it's also pretty much a solid 5. You know, it hasn't improved, but I think I'm putting plans to get in place and sorting stuff out to actually get it up to 6 at least next week.
Well, I mean, 6 is still bleak. Eh? We need to
it's
get it
progress
back up
though.
to.
Yeah, look, I'll be happy with a 6 every week.
Yeah.
That's great. I don't want it to get worse.
No, but I mean, you need to get it up to a 7. I mean, can you remember a couple of weeks ago, I was sitting at an 8.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, but then you were eating a lot more biltong.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm still eating biltong. Like
And
every week
isn't
I'm
this
making a
when-
new batch.
When you were able to restock on the whiskey and...
Yeah, geez, dude. Oh, there's one thing that I've given up. Given up the alcohol.
Wow.
Yeah.
No wonder you're not hitting those 8s.
No,
Just saying.
No.
You do look older.
Thanks, sir. Oh, I didn't put my makeup on this morning. Yeah, I've decided to just go dry for a while, just so that I can. I don't know. You know what I'm finding is that when even if I only have a couple of beers or whatever, I just feel like lethargic for the next couple of days, and I just like at the moment I just don't feel like feeling like that. You know. Anyway.
It's fair enough.
Yeah.
No, that's good.
No, that's just what sober feels like.
Yeah. It feels pretty good. But I mean, talking about alcohol and drinking, I mean, you were sharing with us earlier during the week about the pubs opening up in the UK. I mean, there was a funny story there.
Yeah, I mean, it's a major day in the UK today. The 4th of
Oh,
July.
it's the 4th of July,
It's
so
not
it's
an American day.
Today is the
It
4th of
is.
July, yeah.
absolutely.
It's the 4th of July today. Yeah. Happy Independence Day. But it's not about
Independence
the
Day,
Americans today. It's about England is opening up the pubs again after many months of shutdown. And
Can we have some sound effects here?
You put me on the spot, man. I've only got an ice cream van. You mean like this?
I'm not sure an ice cream van goes, but anything, you know, a drum roll or
Like fireworks?
Like that. Yeah, fireworks. I don't have
Okay.
fireworks.
Okay, I'll take that.
Right.
so there's two major things that are important in the England today is that you can now go and get a haircut,
Oh, lovely.
which is going to be interesting because you can't actually get an appointment to go and get a haircut for another 6 months anyway because of the backlog.
Yes.
And then the pubs and restaurants are opening. And this is a major thing. It's been talked about all week in anticipation. And I think with today's weather, no one's actually going to bother to go out. But
Anyway, yeah.
it's not the whole UK. It's just England.
All right.
So in Wales, it's Wales and Scotland, I think, is also in Northern Ireland. The pubs are not opening yet.
All right.
Oh, no.
So there's a on the English-Welsh border, it runs, it's not a hard and fast fence line border, obviously, but it's not uncommon for the border to run through villages as it follows rivers, etc.
Okay.
But in the news this week, there was a lot of interviews going on of pub landlords who, on the one side of a street in a village, is on England's side, and the other side of the street is on Wales' side. So we have a situation where the pubs on the one side of the street will open and not on the other side of the street. And this is a side effect of COVID that nobody saw coming. You can't just go to your favorite local. You now have to cross the border, which is crossing the street. So yes, it's not a fair world. And I did hear that the landlords from the one village we looked at, the landlord from the Wales side, because he can't open, is now going to spend the afternoon across the road at his counterparts' pubs. But that's
wrong.
That's quite hectic.
it's
Yeah, I mean that's quite bad. I mean, imagine. I mean, just from a business point of view, I mean, it's like so close but yet so far. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Now, who's WhatsApping me now? Someone just WhatsApped me. Let me turn my WhatsApp off, otherwise I'm going to be binging the whole time.
So, Lester, do you think like 4th of July is going to be celebrated in the future in the UK, like next year? Do you think people is going to be celebrating 4th of July as like a major milestone?
That's a good question. We'll have to wait and see. Stay tuned.
Cool.
For episode, we'll be on 60.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll have to work it out. 60 something.
Cue the Hardy does.
Jeez, I thought those were in the UK. I was just going to say, I didn't know you had Hardy Does as well.
Do you know what we do have is, I need to look up the breed. But no, it's pretty cold here.
Yeah.
Most of the time. It's always wet and rubbish. But there's in my little village, there's a flock of these little green parrots, which are tropical birds that are coming out of some tropical forest nowhere near here. So we don't know where these birds came from. They maybe came as a pet and have now flourished. But every year we don't see them through the winter.
Right.
But in the summer months, we see them flying around the village. And it used to be like 3. Now there's about 10 of them.
Mm-hmm.
So for some reason, the tropical birds are surviving in this harsh English countryside weather.
That's crazy. Yeah. That's crazy. Yeah,
I think they just adapted. Like,
yeah, absolutely. It's evolution, baby. So I
Yeah,
was
but they're
trying
not going to wear little raincoats and fur coats to survive.
So I was chatting to someone yesterday, and we were saying like I don't know. We were just talking about. I was talking to someone in Canada, and we were talking about the weather. I mean, they're having a heat wave. I think it's like 35 degrees or 30 degrees, but with the humidity and all that, it feels like it's 40, right? And we were just saying that. So, and then she said, oh, you know, it's got to do with global warming or whatever, because you know we've had a bit of a cold snap here in South Africa. I would imagine that we've had the coldest winter in at least 2 or 3 years. This winter, even though it's not that extreme, it's still colder relative to previous years. But she was saying, oh well, you know, it must be global warming. And I said, well, fuck, who's talking about global warming anymore? Because we've got other things to be worrying about, COVID and all that kind of stuff. So it's weird how our attention gets diverted from previous problems to the current problem at hand. You know. Speaking of which, they're like almost they're intimating that they want to lock down Gauteng again, because I see there were 4,000 new cases.
Yep.
Yeah, that's crazy. So
we might be looking at another lockdown, but let's not talk about the sad stuff.
No. Let's go back to the 4th of July, which means, but actually it means on the 1st of July, was that not Canada Day?
It was, yeah.
It was, yeah. So I wonder what they were all doing for Canada Day under the current circumstances. Just like, I suppose, the Yanks with, sorry, I mustn't call them Yanks, the Americans, North Americans. No, not North Americans. What are they? Americans. Sorry, I'm so scared of being politically incorrect.
Which Americans?
No, exactly. Like if you live in North America, that could be Mexico, the USA, or Canada. Right?
Yeah.
Is that not right?
I don't know. In my mind, it's like when you say Americans, I would imagine a person from the USA. You know, like if you say Mexican, I would obviously imagine a person from Mexico and Canada.
If I say Canadians, then it's Canadians.
Like if you say North American, that's very broad. That pretty much means everyone on that continent.
Okay. Right. I'm consider me corrected. Right. Americans. I wonder what the Americans are doing today for the 4th of July. I mean, in terms of social distancing and that kind of thing. Must be a bit bleak to not be able to.
I think fireworks are still cool.
Fireworks are still cool. I see there's been
you can still shoot fireworks.
Yeah, I mean, among all the other things that have been getting the news lately, one of them is this whole thing on banning fireworks. I don't know where it is. Somewhere in the world, I can't remember exactly where it was. People have been complaining because people have been putting off fireworks the whole day, like from like 7 o'clock in the morning until 10 o'clock at night, the whole day. I can't remember exactly where it was. So now all of a sudden people are now starting to complain about fireworks. I know it's a big thing here in South Africa, like around Diwali and that kind of thing, is that people are often complaining about fireworks, you know, affecting the animals and the dogs and all that kind of stuff. I mean, what are your thoughts on fireworks? Go for Lester.
I mean, I love a firework display, but I've been a dog owner. My dogs go mental around fireworks. You can't calm them down, and there's nothing you can give them to really calm them down. And it takes them hours to recover from it. They just don't like it. So from an animal perspective, I think a lot more care needs to go into how these things are set off. I think there's still a place for them, the fireworks, not the animals. But it needs to be in a more controlled environment, right? It needs to be, and I don't know how you do that, because there is no, in a congested world we live in, maybe we have to travel 100 k's out to sea and then set them off, or something like that.
Yeah.
But certainly going all day, every day was not good. I mean, I remember in my Durban days that the Diwali, that's just how it was, you know. The celebrations would last for a week. and it would pretty much at night, but it could be random blasts through the day, and that's the nature of the celebrations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All, like, personally, I don't think it should be like the fireworks should be set off in urban zones because, you know, obviously each firework is accompanied with explosion, and if anything goes wrong, if a big fireworks goes into a crowd of people or somebody's house, it can cause some major damage. You know, so if it's done, it needs to be done in a fairly controlled way somewhere. Like for us, the city is a perfect location because not that many people actually live in the city. Inside
You mean like
central
downtown
business
Joburg?
district. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, what they can do they can blow it off the Colton Center, the top of the Colton Center.
So have you ever been to the Chinese New Year celebration in Commissioner Street?
No.
It's actually pretty cool. Like, I think I went about 4 years ago, and it was amazing. It was really cool. Fireworks display, but done in a pretty controlled fashion. A lot of lights, a lot of lanterns, a lot of good food, you know.
Yeah. Oh, well, that's, yeah, no.
What's your view then?
Mine, no, look, I mean, when just from a dog point of view, I mean, I had a German Shepherd, that if the fireworks were, I mean, even lightning, he didn't like lightning, but definitely fireworks did make him very, very agitated. And yeah, it was a bit stressful because, I mean, like you'd bring the dog into the house, but still he would be going, the only way to put it is ape shit in the house. So from that point of view, I don't like it. Like if you went to an organized fireworks display, the first thing that comes to mind, and it's not here in South Africa, but let's say in Sydney, is like, there in Sydney, they would have fireworks at New Year's. You'd be hanging around the, what's that Sydney theatre or whatever it is.
Opera House,
yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Like I can marvel at that experience, but like here in the suburbs, when people are just randomly setting off fireworks and there's nothing to see but just hear the fireworks and your dog's going apeshit in your house, yeah, not the greatest, yeah. Yeah. So, but listen, talking about today, I mean, there was a bit of a contradiction in terms of what can be celebrated today. It being barbecue day. I'm going to take advantage of that. I've bought myself some boerewors, which I'm going to slap on the braai ladder. And I see it's also a spare ribs day. So I think that coincides very well with the 4th of July for the Americans, seeing that we calling them Americans. But I see it's also Independence from Meat Day. So there's a bit of a contradiction. So
how are you going to achieve that?
So I don't know. I suppose.
How are you going to achieve that while celebrating a barbecue day?
Anyway, I just thought that was funny.
That's funny. That's funny.
So
I actually had a braai or barbecue yesterday, and I basically marinated some calamari and I grilled it on the barbecue, and it came out really well.
On the barbecue.
Very short barbecue.
Jeez.
Yeah.
So why are you using barbecue? Why are you not calling it a braai?
Braai. Yeah. Braai some calamari that was marinated in olive oil, some crushed garlic, some herbs and spices, and some lemon.
But that was what, calamari steaks?
No, that was actually calamari tubes.
Oh, okay. And then you
tubes.
Yeah, you chuck them on the braai.
I chucked them on the braai. They were very big tubes, but like it's amazing. You start off with something this big, a calamari that big. And then after 3 minutes, you're looking at something like that.
Okay. Yeah, I can imagine that. I've actually never tried. I've done calamari steaks on the braai. I've never tried calamari tubes or rings on the braai. Yeah. Like my thought is, like that kind of thing. You slap it in a wok or something with some garlic and oil and chili and that would be nice. But talking about food,
it came out very good on the braai stand.
It
was really good. Like the best. Like in terms of me making calamari, it was a risk, But I
Why,
just
have you
felt,
never made
yesterday
Calera?
was Friday, so like get a braai stand going, and it works out pretty well.
That's cool. So why was it a risk? Because you like haven't done calamari before, or you haven't done calamari on the
No, I
braai?
haven't done calamari on the braai before,
Yeah,
and it's
yeah,
like
yeah,
you don't quite know how it's gonna turn out.
yeah, yeah. So talking about food, I heard a rumor that you organized some breakfast this morning.
Yes, I did.
So
Yes, I
tell
did.
us, tell us what you got.
Can I
First of all, how
share?
did you get it?
Can I
How did you
share?
get it?
No,
Obviously
he's
Uber
already
Eats.
got it.
No,
He's
no,
already
but I
been
mean,
snacking. Have you not
did
been
he?
watching?
Yeah, no, I haven't been
Was it?
snacking. You guys would have seen me snacking, like I could. This is not one of those things that I can snack in secret. My camera's on. So I've ordered some Uber Eats, and I've ordered a. Let me show you.
Oh, Wimpy burger. Right. I'm so awesome. I can't
Be
box it
boxed
in.
in.
Be boxed in. Yeah. So what
And
did
it's
you
an
get?
amazing burger, guys.
What
It's an
did you
amazing
get?
burger. It's like everything I wanted for this morning is in this one box.
Oh, look at that.
Oh, is that an egg?
That's an
Yeah.
egg. That's an egg.
It almost looks like what you would call a dagwood. Eh?
Yep.
Dagwood. I was just thinking that.
Yeah. Fuck, now I'm hungry. I think I'm going to have to order something.
No, that's what I want for breakfast. What is that?
So tell us what's in there, Oleg.
It's
Make us all
everything.
jealous.
It's literally everything. Everything is in there.
Even the kitchen sink.
Yes, even the kitchen sink.
Even napkins.
Well, you're gonna have to taste it now. So I'm assuming it's got bacon,
Yeah,
it's got
been-
egg. What else is it
But
got?
hang
in
on.
I've been waiting for this moment for the last 20 minutes.
there? Listen, guys, I have to tell you, seeing that I've done this
Where,
before.
where's that drum roll?
Yeah. Oh.
Can we have some sound effects? Even the ice cream truck will do it. The moment. This break is good. Okay.
So there's nothing worse than ordering
Can't see
food
you just as
and-
well.
and then sitting and smelling it for the first 20 minutes of the show.
Guys, this
It's
is
called
amazing.
torture.
But it's impossible to eat this in a neat way. So,
Yeah, especially if you've got a beard. Eh?
no. Especially if you've got a beard. So I'm gonna move this. I'm gonna just I need to figure out how to take off my headphones. Because half of my hand is covered in sauce.
Anyway, talking about beards, I went and got my beard trimmed this last week. It was quite an interesting experience because, like you say, Lester, I had to like almost like book 2 weeks in advance kind of thing to get a slot.
Guys, I'll be back.
Cool. And then, so what happens is that they're only doing one customer at a time, right? So you go into the barber shop,
Right.
and you're the only person in the barber shop. You and the person
So
that's
the
doing
whole
your beard.
focus is on you.
Yeah. It's nothing. Yeah, anyway. So, so I mean, obviously it's masks and sanitizing and writing your name down in your cell phone so they've got a record of who was there. So I would imagine that's for contact tracing if something goes wrong.
Yeah.
So I mean, it was okay. I mean, like you felt pretty safe because it's only two of you in the barbershop, and so it's controlled environment in a way. Well, you got more control of the environment. But can you imagine? So to have a beard trim, I had 30 minutes, a 30-minute slot, but it takes all of 10 minutes to do the beard trim.
Because they have to wipe down between every customer.
Yeah. And then also, you can imagine now, and I mean, we spoke about this with regard to the restaurants opening up and there being conditions in terms of how many people can be in the restaurant, and is it feasible to run the restaurant? Because I mean, do you get enough patronage to cover all your costs and your your overheads and all that kind of thing? And I mean, here's the interesting thing, and I mean, you would expect this to happen, is that the beard trim costs almost double what it used to cost. Because theoretically, and I suppose in reality, if you think about a person when they're putting their pricing together, so like a barber or hairdresser or something like that, they would say, okay, how long is it going to take to do whatever, beard trim, cut hair, whatever. You would imagine that they charge for the time, and obviously materials and whatever else goes into it. So you can imagine if you before had a 15-minute appointment, which is now half an hour, you can understand ASMR going on here, dude. I'm gonna have to mute all Oleg there because
we're gonna have to mute Oleg.
I can't hear myself.
So noisy, that breakfast.
Okay, well I've muted Oleg now.
Guys, do you know what the highlight of the show is? No, the highlight of that burger was it came with the chili sauce. The chili sauce is amazing.
Oh really?
Yeah.
What do you mean better than my chili sauce?
No, but like in terms of getting it from the fast food place, this chili sauce is pretty solid.
Yeah, that's good. So, what did you order? What was it? What was it called on the menu?
I actually don't remember. I just remember it had everything. So, but I'll tell you what it is now.
Did you go, I'll have one of everything on the menu, please?
Yes, I did. I did it.
Yeah.
I did exactly that. I clicked everything.
Oh shit. Yeah, put all
But
of
it's
it
not
on.
bad.
Put all of it on there. Gee, shit, now I'm hungry now.
Are you not prepared today?
I was going to order during the show, but because Oleg ordered something, I thought I'm not going to try and compete with him today.
Look, I woke up this morning and I thought to myself, like I did some contemplation, the whole 15 seconds of it, and I decided, like, I need to get some Uber Eats today.
Yeah, well, I ordered some food last night, which was pretty damn nice. The only problem is I wanted to order
What did you get?
I wanted to get it for this morning, but I see they were closed, so I couldn't order it in. I must find out what time they're open.
It's called the Champion Burger. The
Champion Burger.
Champion.
Breakfast of Champions.
Breakfast of Champions.
Okay, so I think that's what I'm going to order at the end of the show. Is I'm going to order myself
a champion.
Champion. That's pretty cool, man. Yeah. So last night I ordered something new. There's a food chain here in South Africa called KRAK. They do healthy food, right? Oleg, you know them. They've actually even got branches in the Virgin Active gyms. So like they do,
Wow.
so you can get smoothies and pitas and that kind of stuff. But I see the guy that owns that has started a new thing called Freebird, which is chicken burger and chicken strips kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And they've got a branch in Rosebank and they've got a branch in Cresta, and then I think they've also got one down in Cape Town. So I ordered the Chipotle Ranch burger last night, and I have to say, it was pretty damn fine. It was really, really good. As chicken burgers go, it was a pretty good chicken burger. Shit, dude, we speak about a lot of food on the show.
No, we should start doing food reviews.
Yeah, so that's why I was asking you to review your food this morning.
I would say like best value for money I've had in a long time.
Okay,
it was just $100, but it has everything, like literally everything.
$100? Okay.
I'm not sure I could do lettuce for breakfast. I mean, I know it's the champion. I'm not going to dispute that. It's an epic-looking piece of goodness, but if you break it down and the ingredients in it, there's lettuce in there.
Yeah. What you mean, heated up lettuce? Limp lettuce?
No. The lettuce is still pretty crisp. I could taste it.
Okay.
So they basically they cooked everything and then put everything together, and the lettuce was still fresh. So it wasn't like soggy or anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, but still, I mean, I'm not sure I've ever had
Oh, yeah.
now that has left struggling here. I mean, Kellogg and go, ooh, content.
Oh, I think your internet connection's going a bit dodgy there, Uncle Festo. Yeah, I think we lost Lester.
Did we?
Yeah. Oh well.
There was a place in Melville, right, that did amazing chicken burgers, right? I'm just trying to think what it's called. What it was called. Let me just check on Uber Eats.
Yeah.
But it was like a
But I
very
must
niche
tell
place,
you-
and I think it's closed at the moment. So I think they closed during the whole lockdown.
Yeah, like a lot of places there. Look,
Yeah.
I see Brian Laura's open, huh?
Is it?
Yeah. I went past there the day before yesterday. Something that I found quite interesting is I ordered Uber via Uber Eats last night, but the guy that arrived, first of all, didn't arrive in the
Yeah.
car that Uber Eats said it was going to be, like registration
Yeah.
number and all that. And when he got out, he had a Mr. Deliveries bag.
That's interesting. Do you think like everyone's like working for everyone else at the moment?
I don't know. Maybe he does both.
I think it does both. I think these
Yeah.
guys have to do both.
Yeah. And like why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you want to do both?
True.
Yeah.
True.
That's pretty cool. Yeah.
True. But yeah. I'm not sure like if Uber Eats actually provides enough business for these guys to operate just on the Uber Eats platform.
No, fair enough. Yeah.
I
But
think
you
they
about
also
it.
look at size of the orders because
Yeah.
your tip will depend on the size of the order,
Yeah.
and then they basically go on that.
Yeah. Is Lester back?
Lester, welcome back.
He's back
Yeah.
back in black.
All this talk about lettuce for breakfast broke the internet in the UK. It's just unheard of.
Oh,
Crazy, man. Crazy. So I see old Beavis and Butthead are making a return, eh? Yeah. Okay, I used to love that.
But
So I wonder-
I'm wondering why. I mean, that's great because it's a cult classic. But why? What suddenly? Because there's so much other stuff that's happening in the next generation. So many other things that have come out.
Yeah.
Where is this coming from? Is this from the old fan base, or is this they just want to release it because they can?
Yeah. I mean, do you think it's past its prime or?
I think it's become, well, if that like The Simpsons, you just continue from generation to generation. I mean, you do run out of content, I'm sure,
Yeah.
but maybe it's just the old fan base. Just like, we miss it. Enough. Someone signed a petition which just went viral, and before you know it, the guys have been brought out of retirement to go and draw some pictures.
Yeah.
I'll be interested to see what they put on there. What's their storylines for each episode.
Yeah, we'll see. Because it's going to be on Comedy Central. Oh, it used to be on MTV.
Yeah.
But it's going to be on Comedy
So
Central.
do they follow different bands? I mean, is there different? Because then we've moved on. Some of those bands are still around.
Yeah. So I'm just reading here, just talking about. I see it started in 1992, back in '92,
Wow.
and the last one was episode 8, season 8, sorry, which was back in 2011. But there was a 4-year break between season 7 and 7,
Series
7 and
7.
8.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I see that even back in 2014, the guy was Mike Judge. Apparently, is the guy that created it. That he was already back in 2014 talking about that he wanted to do some more seasons. So I mean, it's 6 years later. Pretty damn. He said he was pitching it to different networks because obviously MTV. What's happened to MTV? Is MTV still around? It's gone, eh? Or is it still around?
It's
I
still
think
around.
I think MTV is not as big as it used to be.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
I'd
mean-
agree with that. Yeah.
But I mean,
They're still around, but
what changed?
not as.
What changed? I mean, I used to.
I think Netflix, Amazon. No, sorry, not Amazon. What's his name? Amazon Prime, Hulu. You know, all these web-based.
Technology
Web-based.
changed. We don't watch TV anymore. You know, the
Yeah, but I mean, I don't think
traditional
that's the
cable
only
TV,
reason-
satellite TV.
But I mean, is that the only reason why MTV lost its popularity? Because MTV used to do music and music videos, and then they started changing over to do. They did that MTV Cribs. I mean, they had Jackass on there. They had Beavis and Butthead, obviously. What else did they have? They had Jersey Shore and those kind
Yeah,
of
but
things.
now look at it. You've moved away from music, right?
No, but that's
These
what I'm
are
saying.
now
Is that
reality
the-
shows.
Yeah, but I mean, that's what I'm saying. Is that the reason why MTV maybe lost its? I mean, I don't know. I'm not too sure because
Yeah, it's interesting
I think-
because if you go back, if someone talked about music videos, you'd think MTV.
yes,
Now you'd be talking about Jackass and all those. It's like an afterthought. And oh yeah, that's on MTV. Yeah.
Yeah.
What channel is kind of irrelevant.
yeah.
Yeah, I think they lost the plot. I mean, when I first came to the UK, the MTV, there was about, I don't know, 5-6 different MTV channels on my TV. Okay, it might have been plus 1 hours, but there was variety. There's all sorts of stuff going on there, depending on the genre of music. There was different videos to stream.
Yeah. Jeez, I didn't realize that there was so much stuff around Beavis and Butthead. You know, over and above the, you know, just the animated show that was on MTV. I see that they've even Marvel Comics published a monthly Beavis and Butthead comic.
No way.
There were video games. I see there were books as well. They even did an album, a CD. They released a CD. Yeah, that's pretty interesting.
I think you know, when you talk about MTV, I talk about analog age. You know, you're talking about analog age. You're talking about, you know, cable TV, DSTV type subscription services. I think the biggest issue is that, you know, they just didn't reinvent themselves when, you know, Netflix, YouTube, and all the other guys exploded.
Yeah, but I mean, I suppose that they could have, and I suppose the problem is that they had probably tied themselves up with, like the likes of MultiChoice and DSTV, that they couldn't, you know, re-license it to, say, Netflix or Hulu or Amazon Prime or something like that. Because remember when Netflix first launched in South Africa, there were a couple of shows that they couldn't show on Netflix in South Africa because MTV had the rights for them. Like
Do
Black
you
is the
do you
New
know
Orange.
when was the
Orange
first
is the
time
new-
Netflix launched in South Africa?
Sorry?
Do you know when the Netflix launched in South Africa?
What you mean date-wise?
Yeah.
I don't know, probably 2 years ago, 2018?
Okay. But you do realize before
No.
the official launch, South Africans have been watching Netflix for
No,
like
of course. No.
at least
no,
four.
Yeah,
at least
no,
4
of course. I mean, I was watching Netflix long before it launched in South Africa.
Yeah.
Yeah, but what I'm
Have
saying
you-
is
have
just
you
talking
changed
about
the way
the
you're watching it.
Sorry?
Have you changed the way you're watching it? Or
No.
are you still watching it?
I'm still
Okay.
watching it. But funny enough, I actually watched the South African. I use the South African Netflix now as opposed to the American one because, and I'll explain the reason why now. But I'm just saying that, like for instance, MTV, why didn't they just pass on their stuff to Netflix or something like that? It's probably because they tied themselves up in license deals with those cable TVs and the likes of DSTV. And like I was saying, the good example of that is when Netflix launched in South Africa, there were shows like Orange is the New Black, and those kind of things that could not be shown on Netflix in South Africa because they had been licensed to DSTV. So the reason why I watch the South African Netflix rather than the American Netflix is because the American Netflix don't release stuff episode by episode. They only release entire seasons at a go, and they only release the season when the second or the next season starts on cable TV or whatever.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So there will be some shows like, let's say, like there was a show called The Shooter, which is based on the movie The Shooter. But there was a series that came out, but they would only release the entire series on the American Netflix when they started the next season. Whereas on the South African Netflix, they would release it week by week.
Oh, okay.
So there's a bit of a difference there, yeah. And I mean, there's not much on the American Netflix that you don't get here in South Africa in terms of series. I do notice a big difference on the movie side. There are lots of movies that you can get in the American Netflix that you can't get in the South African Netflix. But that's the only thing that I notice.
Okay.
But what streaming service do you use the most?
Netflix.
Okay. Lester, yourself? Oh, Lester's frozen.
Is Lester still there?
Lester's gone.
It's actually a perfect freeze
I
frame.
need to
Let's
take
just
a
take a
screenshot.
snapshot.
I need to take a screenshot quickly.
Quickly before he moves.
Yeah, no, actually, I actually probably watch more Hulu than I do Netflix.
Okay. Is it better? Would you say?
Sorry?
Would you say it's better?
Well, I've got access to shows that I enjoy more than on Netflix. I feel that the people are watching, like on Netflix, people are watching more documentaries than series. Because if the guys that
he moved.
Follow. Oh, Lester's alive.
Lester, you moved.
Yeah.
Dude, you were stuck in time.
Pissed me off now.
You had a classic look on your face.
Thanks for the photo, Oleg.
No stress. No opportunity goes wasted.
Yeah. Anyway, so Lester, we were talking about streaming services. What streaming service do you use there in the UK?
There's actually a new one being brought out by a consortium of the traditional broadcasting companies. So the BBC, ITV, Channel 4, I think it's those. They came together and they decided to bring their own version out called BritBox.
Called what?
It's still new.
BritBox.
BritBox. Yeah.
BritBox. Jeez.
Brit. B-R-I-T.
Oh. Could they not have thought of a better name,
Trying to give it some identity. I don't know. I don't know anyone who's actually got it, but it's just another competing service on the same infrastructure.
Yeah.
But I have Home, I have Netflix, I have Amazon Prime.
Prime, yeah. What do you think of Amazon Prime?
To be honest.
What do you think of Amazon Prime?
Prime? It's a money-making scheme. I prefer the Netflix model where they don't have everything because they don't have HBO stuff, but they have enough variety and it's all free. You don't have to faff around. But if you look at the menu on Amazon Prime, it's all pay stuff. Every single category is pay. I'm like, okay, fine. If I want on demand, I can go through my normal satellite or cable TV provider and do the same thing.
Yeah.
But it's not really a service that they're offering. They're just offering an on-demand service.
Yeah.
So I would prefer it if they had more of a selection of free stuff. Their selection is very limited.
Exactly, yeah.
So I spend most of my time on Netflix, to be honest.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's certain, so, what I love about the whole subscription thing is that you can turn it off. And then when the series comes on that you like, you enjoy and you want to watch it, you turn it on for a month, watch that season, turn it off.
Yeah.
Which I often do with Prime because there are one or two shows on there that I do enjoy, and then I just watch this when the season comes out. I turn it on, watch it, turn it off. But I was telling Oleg I use Hulu quite a bit. I don't know. Do you guys get Hulu in the UK?
It's around. It's not prevalent.
Yeah. So what I like about that is I can add add-ons. So I can add Showtime on there. I can add HBO on there. So it's like an add-on to the subscription. So I watched Band of Brothers recently. Again.
So did I on. So there's another one I forgot about. Now TV.
Oh yeah.
That's becoming bigger because that's got the HBO stuff on it.
Right.
And it's very cheap.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, because HBO, in terms of streaming services, HBO is quite expensive, eh?
Oh yeah.
In comparison
but
to
their
others.
content's generally good though.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah. So anyway, I signed up for HBO for a month. So like we watched Band of Brothers. I watched it with my daughter. She wanted to watch it. She's into Second World War stuff. And I forgot how gory it is. But anyway, it was good. There's probably about maybe 5 or 6 or 7 times that I've watched Band of Brothers. Pretty damn good.
I've got the box set at home.
Have you?
Because it's got all the extras in it.
Oh,
and
right.
I've lost the box set.
Oh, no.
It's doing my head in.
Yeah.
Because it's when you want to watch it there and then. And normally on the streaming channels you've got to pay. I don't know, something like ridiculous for each episode. I'm like, I just want to watch it. I don't even want to watch it all the way through. I just want to watch that scene and that episode, or that's how precise I am. That's why I have the box set.
Yeah, I want to see that egg get blown up. Yeah, sure. Shit.
Yeah.
So, like, what's your
quick question?
Yeah.
Would you guys consider TikTok to be a streaming service?
TikTok a streaming service? No.
Yeah.
No. Well, I sent you that link yesterday about that guy pointing out that TikTok is socially irresponsible. They spying on you. Like as if Google and Instagram and Facebook aren't doing that already. What's new when it comes to these kind of services?
I wonder how lobbying in this day and age works. Is it like throwing some dirt on the competition? Because competition is doing exactly what you're doing. They're collecting data about you.
Yeah.
They're collecting.
Of course.
I thought Lester Frozen again. I was like, I'm looking at him, he's sitting in the same position. I was like, what? But realistically, how much time can you kill on TikTok? I don't have TikTok, so it's like I need to rely on feedback from you guys.
Don't do it, man. Before. Don't. There is no 5 minutes on TikTok. Despite how mundane the stuff is that you're watching, you just quickly flick to the next one. There's always another one. There's always another one. And before you know it, you've lost 3 hours.
Are you serious? You could actually, you guys kill sometimes 3 hours on TikTok.
Absolutely.
It's not hard.
It's not hard.
And it's not because it's like awesomely entertaining.
Yeah.
It's just you get into a routine. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, and it's
snippets.
Yeah, that's all it is. It's like, I'm like, but another thing that I find that quite clever about is that when you try and exit the app, what it does is it refreshes the feed. You've got to double tap it to get out. So like on Samsung, to get out of an app, you push the back key and it goes out of the app. If you do that with TikTok, what it does is it refreshes the feed.
That's really clever.
Yeah.
So it gives them another opportunity to get your attention and to keep you
absolutely.
To hook you,
Yeah, keep me connected. I think it's innocent enough. It's when they start using TikTok for non-entertainment purposes that it will become a problem, right?
Yeah. But that's the thing is try and explain why TikTok is addictive. Right?
It keeps you wanting more.
But like what?
Without you realizing it, it's not a heavy commitment. I just want more. Just
but I
one
mean,
more.
like,
Just one for the road.
yeah, one for the road. Yeah. I just thought of Arctic Monkeys song there when you said one for the road. So I see one of Arctic Monkeys music videos or songs has hit 1 billion views on YouTube.
Wow.
What?
Yeah. 1 billion views. Google it there, you'll see. Arctic Monkeys. 1 billion views. 1 billion views. Yeah, Arctic Monkeys reach 1
Unless somebody
billion.
had it on,
Hey?
you know, the repeat button was stuck.
Yeah.
Or auto replay button got stuck, and it's just been running for years.
Or maybe
which
they
one?
did it themselves. Maybe they created a bot that goes in, uses a VPN, so its IP address changes all the time.
Oh yeah.
I wonder if anyone's ever tried that. I'm sure they have, eh?
Yeah, but look at this. This is a billion view. That's not a small number. That's not sitting there going
Click, 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 click,
replay.
Yeah,
You'll never reach a billion.
times. Yeah, shit. That's pretty hectic, eh? Yeah, so I wonder what other bands have hit 1 billion views on YouTube. I wonder if we can Google it. Let's see. Music artists, music.
Queen, Coldplay.
Okay.
Yeah. I know that, what's his name? There's quite a few artists in South America that would be sitting on like 1 billion views.
Kpop.
Kpop, yeah.
Oh.
Guys, what's your take on Kpop?
Well, it's so funny that you mentioned it during the week, Oleg.
Yeah.
Because I think the day before you mentioned it to me, my daughter was showing me some of the K-pop stuff that she watches. And yeah, it's quite interesting, I have to admit, that these guys are so successful. And they're mostly Asian people, but some of them are actually originally from Australia. So they're Australians, but they're of Korean heritage or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
And they, my daughter was telling me a story that one of them or two of them took part in one of these sort of idol kind of competitions for whatever. And they were actually from Australia. And the first time that they went there, the one didn't make it because he couldn't speak Korean properly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's interesting.
I think
I think we need to get into K-pop.
Gangnam Style was the one that really brought K-pop into the international arena.
Yeah.
True.
It is very unique.
Yeah. So how did K-pop come across your radar, Oleg?
I'm gonna admit that I do sometimes check out K-pop videos. I find them fascinating.
No way. That's it. I'm out here.
K-pop. No, that's
it's a dirty little secret.
Yeah. No. Okay. K-pop is huge.
Just need a little fix. It's like TikTok. K-pop is TikTok for you. Okay, I get it.
I think the reason why K-pop is fascinating is because it changes so often. It's like 1 week they're doing certain styles, and then the next week you go and it's just something completely different. So
I mean, is this something that you
actively? You're there. I'm worried you're stuck.
Is this your TikTok that you?
No. I don't abuse it. I can't kill like 3 hours on it. It's like maybe 1 or 2 videos sometimes. Something that comes across my feed.
And then
is that okay?
And maybe it's frozen again. So what I find, so you actually actively watch K-pop. Is that what you're telling me?
I
can neither confirm nor deny. Anyway.
No, I do check out some K-pop, bands and groups and stuff like that. I find it fascinating that you can have like more than 10 people in the group.
What? More than 10 people
What do you
in
mean?
the Kpop
Yeah.
group. Yeah. And they're all
That,
dancing, and etc., etc., etc.,
singing,
right?
doing their stuff, you know.
Yeah, yeah. So, yeah, Leicester's getting some really good poses today. Leicester, I think
Lester, you there?
I think Leicester's just organised himself a new nickname,
I'm going to try and jump on the neighbours network.
the Poser. Are you with us, Leicester?
Am I back?
Are you back?
Ooh, spinning round. As Mexico faster, the faster you spin.
Uh-huh.
All right, what have I missed?
No, we were just talking about K-pop and oh, now only disappeared.
Yeah,
for a bit.
I'm back,
Okay.
guys. I'm back.
What happened? Jeez.
Skype dropped. Skype
Skype.
dropped, so I just relaunched and rejoined the call.
Okay, Skype.
But-
Seeing that all of these things
Since
are
you've
listening to
done
us.
that, my bandwidth is Uber. My bandwidth is the fastest it's been all day since you've
Oh.
dropped off.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
So-
Are you still on
What's
your
that?
network, or did you switch to neighbors one?
No, I'm still on mine.
Okay.
But for the record, I don't have any connections to my neighbours' networks.
Okay.
So maybe
When I used to stay in my old place in West Dean, I used to give out like my Wi-Fi code to my neighbors. I used to like old lady, so like she's very data conscious and she uses like WhatsApp to communicate. Since I had like uncapped 20 meg line, I was like, hey, you know, she can watch some YouTube videos.
yeah, let's not worry about what she's been watching.
Yeah, we'll call them YouTube videos.
Yeah,
YouTube
exactly.
videos. YouTube videos are very clean. There's a lot of content.
We'll
Sure.
pretend it's YouTube. Yeah.
So I mean, like so like what sort of content are you guys like consuming on a regular basis, and what platforms? I mean, like I don't have DSTV, so I'm not watching DSTV. During the week now, I'm not really watching Netflix and watching any series or episodes or whatever, but I probably consuming a large amount of YouTube content. What about you guys?
That's quite interesting for a man of your generation, because that's more the trend of the current sort of teenage to 20-year, the 20s. That's their habits. They're more the YouTube generation,
Yeah.
and that's what they're used to. The legacy turning on your TV and watch what's on there is something your grandmother used to do.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, during the lockdown, because the TV is pretty much where I work. I don't actually watch. When I get away from work, I want to get away from this room.
Yeah.
So, I'd probably go and watch something on an iPad somewhere. So it's going to be Netflix. And it would vary depending on how much time I got. With all the travel that I would have normally been doing for my commute to Germany and back, I used to download the whole series on from Prime or Netflix or however else onto my iPad, and that's what I would generally be watching.
Okay.
I'm actually thinking the only reason I got a cable TV to the house was, partly bandwidth at the time. That was the best option. Clearly, it's working well. But yeah, to watch South African sports at that time, you had to subscribe to Sky Sports channels, and I just haven't been watching it, and there hasn't been sports, so I'm just going to get rid of it and pay on demand if I want to watch something specifically.
Yeah, sure.
So I think I don't need DVD player. I don't need cable TV. I don't need that anymore. It's just wasting space in the lounge. I just need a little dongle hanging off my smart TV, and that's all I need.
Yeah, absolutely.
And if
You've
you've
got a Chromecast as well, Oleg. You got a Chromecast?
Mm. Yeah, I've got a Chromecast. It works like a bomb because I cast most of my content from my cell phone.
Sure. Yeah. So, I mean, I've got my PlayStation that I use as a media center. So, YouTube, Netflix, Hulu, whatever else. So that works pretty well. But I mean, like, just, you know, so the kind of content that I'm consuming on YouTube is like almost like sort of informational kind of stuff. So, okay, I'm watching the daily talk show podcast on there. I like to watch the video rather than listen to the podcast. And then there are quite a few guys that live stream. There's a guy locally called Matt Brown. He's got a thing called Matt Brown Show, and he's talking to business people. So like, you know, it's business related stuff, and also people that have written books like motivational books or that kind of thing. So I catch his live streams when they come on. And then also like sort of informational kind of stuff. So whether it's about you know, podcasting or live streaming on, you know, how to use different products. I was watching some 4x4 videos last night. The guy was doing a comparison between the Defender and the Land Cruiser, which I found.
So what's our
you've still got a thing for Land Cruiser, haven't you?
Oh yeah, I'm in the market for another Land Cruiser. Yeah.
Soft spot.
Yeah. I don't regret much in my life, but I do regret getting rid of my Land Cruiser.
That thing was so expensive to keep going, though. It was just not an economical car. I
think, Drew, like I think it's cheaper for you to just buy a tank and run it.
Yeah, so I'm gonna buy a Land Cruiser tank.
No, the actual tank.
No. Oh no, I'll buy the Land Cruiser tank. But I see. So anyway, the guy was doing a comparison between the Defender and the Land Cruiser, and obviously the Land Cruiser came out better. And that was around maintenance and that kind of thing, in terms of you being able to do the maintenance on the vehicle yourself. And he was talking about the position of stuff and, you know, whatever. But talking about that, I see, because I mean, you see that they've Land Rover has brought out the new Defender, right? I don't know if you've seen it.
No, didn't see it.
Yeah, it looks.
Have they managed to resolve all the maintenance issues?
Oh no, they'll never resolve that.
Oh.
Yeah, but I mean,
I felt all the Land Rover owners cringe right now.
Well, exactly, but they know what I'm talking about.
Exactly.
If you own a Land Rover, you know what I'm talking about. Just Google there, Oleg. Have a look at what the new Defender looks like.
It's got good ratings.
Well, they haven't launched it here in South Africa yet.
So
Is that the new? Is that the new Defender?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know if I like it.
Right.
I don't know if I like it.
And do you know how much that thing costs?
I reckon about 2 mil in local currency.
What? The Defender? No. No.
How much?
No, it's just over $1 million. Because remember, it's their entry level. It's like, it's supposed to be their utilitarian 4x4. So it should be basic, hardcore. Anyway, it costs $1 million.
Yeah.
Okay, now.
What is that in real money?
What do you mean in real money?
In pounds.
In pounds.
In pounds.
Yeah.
Well, don't you have a
in
price?
Pounds,
exchange rate is?
I think it's about 1 to 20, right? So it's 1 to 20. It's about £50,000.
Okay.
Yeah. So now Google. You're gonna have to try and spell this. Grenadier.
How do you spell that?
I'll tell you now.
G-R-N.
Yeah, it's Grenadier. This is what the new Defender should have looked like.
Well, hang on. Isn't the difference the Defender's gone more short wheelbase back to its roots, and the long wheelbase they're trying to do separately.
No.
This looks like a bloody Land Cruiser, man. It's never going to sell.
What, this Grenadier? It looks like an old Defender.
Yeah, with the first long wheelbase Defenders.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, this is what it should look like.
Anyway, so I was watching their busy.
The Land Rovers I like was the shorter,
The short
two-seater
wheelbase.
versions.
Yeah.
You know, where it still had the wheel on the bonnet. That's me.
Yeah. The Series 2. Yeah. So I saw one going, it's up for sale here in South Africa. It's been like resprayed, done up, restored, whatever you want to call it. It's about 170,000 Rand.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, not too bad. Not too shabby, Nige.
No, the thing I like about them is that they are what they are. They're robust, and there's a lot more options in the UK. You can pick up these things for, I don't know, less than 20,000 Rand.
Yeah.
And I mean, you always have to do stuff, but there's enough around. There's enough parts around. It's not expensive. The thing is, it's not. The problem with the current cars is all the electronics.
Yes.
And if you're out in the middle of nowhere, these are outdoor cars meant for beating around the bush in. And if they break down, you need to be able to
in the bush.
And if they are all now electronic problems,
yeah, exactly.
then what chance do you have? Then it's just pointless. That's more an urban car for me.
Yep.
I mean, if you want to drive a Land Rover because you always driven a Land Rover and that's your go-to-school car for the moms, I mean, that's then fine, have whatever you want. But if you're going to go out into the bush and use it for proper outdoor stuff that you need to be able to do repairs on, it needs to be a simple mechanical design that you can support.
Yeah.
Keep the electronics out of it.
I totally agree. I sent you a photo, dude, on the group. Have a look.
What year is that?
This one.
Yeah.
1969.
Wow, still going strong. I'm sure it's still keep on going strong for another 50 years.
Yeah, but I think these ones were a lot better than the newer ones. I mean, that's a proper old landy. I mean, and I appreciate that, and I wouldn't mind having that in my driveway, I must admit. But it's not really. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Pretty damn cool, I must say. Anyway.
So, we use a lot of like Land Cruiser 76s for our field stuff. And those cars are amazing. I mean,
yeah.
The amount of punishment and how rugged and robust they are. And like, if you want a car for harsh environments, I don't think there's anything better than the Land Cruiser 76.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. The 70 series, yeah. Because, I mean, but the only problem is that they're silly money, dude. If you buy that thing...
Yeah, they're silly money. They're silly money because people know them. Like, if you need a reliable vehicle for a rough environment where there are no roads and, you need to get around, this is your only choice, man.
No, I agree. You don't have to convince me.
Yeah.
But
so I drove 76s for the last at least 10 years, for work, obviously. I mean, I've never had a serious issue.
No, you won't. especially if it's got the normal, especially if it's got the normal diesel engine in it.
No, actually, most of our 76s are petrol engines.
No, well then it's not the 76, then it's the 79. Anyway.
Yeah, some of them are 79s, yeah.
But
some of them 79s.
But the station wagon, the one the exploration one that they've got in Joburg.
Yeah.
Those only came out in diesel.
Yeah, those are diesel.
The petrol you can get in the single cab and the double cab.
So, like, would you go for something like a Land Cruiser 76?
No, they're too expensive.
Like to buy, to maintain, or what are you talking about?
Well, to buy, because the thing is, I have an issue with buying so I would want to buy the station wagon, okay? First of all, the station wagon doesn't come in petrol. Okay.
It only comes in diesel, yeah.
Right. Then the older ones, right? Like if you want to buy, if you don't want to spend too much money and you want to, so you would have to buy an older one. They only come in the old diesel engine, right? So it's a 96 kilowatt engine pushing 2 tons around, right?
Yeah.
That's not the kind of thing that you want to be traveling long distances with.
No, I agree with
power.
you.
Okay, so now you want to so they brought out the V8 turbo diesel, right? In the newer ones. But they brought those out in 2014. So if you buy one of those second hand, you're still in for 450, $500,000 rand.
Silly money, man.
Yeah.
At second hand. That's second hand,
hand, yeah. And that's got 300,000 Ks on it.
That's silly money. That's insane.
So the other option is to go for the double cab and buy the petrol engine. It was the 4-liter V6. But then you're going for the double cab, yeah. Not the station wagon. Which it's slightly longer than the station wagon. Longer wheelbase.
So are you still planning to get a like a proper off-road 4x4 on some stage?
Yeah, I want to.
Is this still on the books?
Yeah, I'm busy looking. Still busy looking. I'm waiting for my old one to come up.
You think it will come up?
Well, yeah, there were a couple that have come up in the last year. There were 2 last year and 1 earlier this year. But I wasn't ready to buy it then. But now I'm actively looking. So I'm waiting for the 80 series VX to come out. Someone sell it, then I'll pick it up. And then you're in for about 130, 150. Spend 100 on it, you're in for 250.
Why do you want an off-roader? Okay, here's the dilemma, right? So you're going to go on a nice dirt track. You've got a motorbike that can take this, or you have a car that can take this. If you're driving in the car down these roads, you're going to go, oh, I wish I had my bike here to do this. Or vice versa. Or is the thinking that you can always just chuck the bike on the back? But then you've got a trailer, so it's not quite the same experience.
No. So
how are you going to sort all this mess out?
No. Well, look, I mean, I still want to do that thing where you go up into Namibia or up into Botswana or go up Mozambique, Malawi, those kind of places. I still want to do that. I mean, that was my original intention when I bought that Land Cruiser. But circumstances made me change, get rid of it. So, yeah, I still want to do that. And there's nothing stopping you slapping your bike on the back. I mean, you don't need a trailer. You get these, I don't even know how to describe it. I mean, if you Google it, you'll see it. Where you get it's almost like a bicycle rack, but for a motorbike on the back of the Land Cruiser or on the back of a 4x4. And you can put
your straps on the back of the car.
Well, it's got a
fold out.
It's like a platform, and you ride the bike onto it, and then it lifts up on the back, and then you can.
Yeah. That changes all the dynamics. It puts a heavy weight on the back.
Yeah, well, that's why you've got. That's why you got a 4x4, man.
That's why you got a 2-ton car anyway.
Yes. Yeah. So look, I mean, the thing is also, it's like, there's just so much more that you can do with that vehicle. I mean, like, for instance, like, if I now go to the Kruger National Park in my little Ford Figo, you can't see shit, dude. At least with the Land Cruiser, like, it's race suspension, high off the ground. You can see shit, man. Then I can tow my bikes down to Cape Town with me if I want to take my bikes with me down to Cape Town.
But you got a Harley to borrow in Cape Town. You don't need to do that.
Yeah, I know.
But
Cape Town,
too much.
Cape Town's got good roads. I think Andrew really wants to get out. I think everyone's got like problem with time getting out. So I recently about 2 years ago, bought a little Renault Duster 4x4. It's based on like a Nissan X-Trail chassis, And last year, October, I took it for some serious off-roading for like 3,000-kilometer trip across Mozambique. And it held up pretty well. I was actually quite impressed.
Okay.
Did a lot of it, did a lot of sand, you know.
And where's that vehicle now?
It's parked at home.
It's parked in his
Rusting
driveway.
away, doing nothing,
Doing nothing.
crying itself to sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
that's
you
the
would do it
problem.
again. You
man.
would just clean it off and go on another trip like that.
Easy.
You would have no second thoughts about doing anything different. You would just grab that vehicle and off you go.
Yeah.
Okay. That's what you need, is that confidence in your vehicle in those environments.
Yep.
Yeah,
Mm.
absolutely. Right. On that happy note, dude, we've milked the
We
week.
rocked
Happy
it.
go back to the pub day. Hooray, let's get on with it.
So you going to the pub, Lester?
No.
No.
No, not on purpose, but
But
you know,
why
if
not?
on the dog walk, the dog decides to walk past the pub and go inside, then I have to follow.
Oh yeah.
I'm just saying.
I totally agree.
Does your dog like pubs?
The dog, my local pub, the dog knows well.
Yeah.
I'm not saying why that is,
Yeah.
but it knows its way around.
He leads you there. Is that it?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean,
But aren't you playing golf
I'm a
today?
careful dog owner. He wants something. It's good smells in there. They always make a fuss over him. They give him treats. So why not
Yeah.
take him in there?
Yeah.
And if it takes a long time for the dog to get happy at this place, then obviously I've got to keep myself entertained.
Yeah.
The problem
playing
is
golf today,
it
though?
needs to stop being mid-morning on a Saturday.
Are you playing golf today, dude?
All right, dudes.
Are you playing golf?
I'm going to go and see if this weather's going to change and summer's actually
Awesome.
going to come back this year.
It should.
Cool, man.
Been awesome catching up.
Well, guys,
But dudes,
I suppose we've got to end off with some music. Same time next week. Same time
walk
next week.
1,000 miles. Right.
4,000. Something like that. Yeah.
It does sound very much like that. Just to come and knock on your door. That would scare the bejesus out of you. On a Saturday morning, you're trying to connect your podcast up, and I just come knock on your door and go, "Oh, I'm here. Where do I sit?"
I look forward to that, dude. I'm gonna hold you to that.
Yeah, I'll pretend to be the Uber Eats driver.
Okay, guys. See you next week.